This Sunday, on episode 32 of Dependency, where every life is a biography.
We interrupt the regular scheduled program to stage this special intervention. It is an established fact that addiction is a family disease.
I would go and get it, and I would go in the toilet with it. And when I put up the shot and I exhale, I'll be hearing like my brother saying, "Officer, look inside, look inside, they're smoking."
Relapse is a common symptom of the disease, but how does it affect the family?
There was a night my father was asleep and the shoot was hung up right next to his bedhead, and in the pocket was only blue notes. And I get down on my all fours, so I just skirmish inside the place on my all fours and take out 300 logs and put back the rest of the money and went back out in the reverse gear, watching him all the time, making sure he ain't get up.
This Sunday, by popular demand, we welcome once again Sheldon Sketch Aberdeen, this time paying close attention to relapse and recovery. How many times should we forgive and support a friend or family member from constantly relapsing? Let's find out this Sunday from 10 a.m. Listen live on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
This Sunday, on episode 32 of Dependency, where every life is a biography.
We interrupt the regular scheduled program to stage this special intervention. It is an established fact that addiction is a family disease.
I would go and get it, and I would go in the toilet with it. And when I put up the shot and I exhale, I'll be hearing like my brother saying, "Officer, look inside, they're smoking."
Relapse is a common symptom of the disease, but how does it affect the family?
There was a night my father was asleep and the shoot was hung up right next to his bedhead, and in the pocket was only blue notes. And I get down on my all fours, so I just skirmish inside the place on my all fours and take out 300 logs and put back the rest of the money and went back out in the reverse gear, watching him all the time, making sure he ain't get up.
This Sunday, by popular demand, we welcome once again Sheldon Sketch Aberdeen, this time paying close attention to relapse and recovery. How many times should we forgive and support a friend or family member from constantly relapsing? Let's find out this Sunday from 10 a.m. Listen live on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
This Sunday, on episode 32 of Dependency, where every life is a biography.
We interrupt the regular scheduled program to stage this special intervention. It is an established fact that addiction is a family disease.
I would go and get it, and I would go in the toilet with it. And when I put up the shot and I exhale, I'll be hearing like my brother saying, "Officer, look inside, they're smoking."
Relapse is a common symptom of the disease, but how does it affect the family?
There was a night my father was asleep and the shoot was hung up right next to his bedhead, and in the pocket was only blue notes. And I get down on my all fours, so I just skirmish inside the place on my all fours and take out 300 logs and put back the rest of the money and went back out in the reverse gear, watching him all the time, making sure he ain't get up.
This Sunday, by popular demand, we welcome once again Sheldon Sketch Aberdeen, this time paying close attention to relapse and recovery. How many times should we forgive and support a friend or family member from constantly relapsing? Let's find out this Sunday from 10 a.m. Listen live on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
This Sunday, on episode 32 of Dependency, where every life is a biography.
We interrupt the regular scheduled program to stage this special intervention. It is an established fact that addiction is a family disease.
I would go and get it, and I would go in the toilet with it. And when I put up the shot and I exhale, I would be hearing like my brother saying, "Officer, look inside there, look inside there smoking."
Relapse is a common symptom of the disease, but how does it affect the family?
There was a night my father was asleep and the shoot was hung up right next to his bedhead, and in the pocket was only blue notes. And I get down on my all fours, so I just skirmish inside the place on my all fours and take out $300 and put back the rest of the money and went back out in the reverse gear, watching him all the time, making sure he ain't get up.
This Sunday, by popular demand, we welcome once again Sheldon Sketch Aberdeen, this time paying close attention to relapse and recovery. How many times should we forgive and support a friend or family member from constantly relapsing? Let's find out this Sunday from 10 a.m. Listen live on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
This Sunday, on episode 32 of Eye on Dependency, where every life is a biography.
We interrupt the regular scheduled program to stage this special intervention. It is an established fact that addiction is a family disease.
I would go and get it, and I would go in the toilet with it. And when I put up the shot and I exhale, I would be hearing like my brother saying, "Officer, look inside there, look inside there smoking."
Relapse is a common symptom of the disease, but how does it affect the family?
There was a night my father was asleep and the shoot was hung up right next to his bedhead, and in the pocket was only blue notes. And I get down on my all fours, so I just skirmish inside the place on my all fours and take out $300 and put back the rest of the money and went back out in the reverse gear, watching him all the time, making sure he ain't get up.
This Sunday, by popular demand, we welcome once again Sheldon Sketch Aberdeen, this time paying close attention to relapse and recovery. How many times should we forgive and support a friend or family member from constantly relapsing? Let's find out this Sunday from 10 a.m. Listen live on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
This Sunday, on episode 32 of Eye on Dependency, where every life is a biography.
We interrupt the regular scheduled program to stage this special intervention. It is an established fact that addiction is a family disease.
I would go and get it, and I would go in the toilet with it. And when I put up the shot and I exhale, I would be hearing like my brother saying, "Officer, look inside there, look inside there smoking."
Relapse is a common symptom of the disease, but how does it affect the family?
There was a night my father was asleep and the shoot was hung up right next to his bedhead, and in the pocket was only blue notes. And I get down on my all fours, so I just skirmish inside the place on my all fours and take out $300 and put back the rest of the money and went back out in the reverse gear, watching him all the time, making sure he ain't get up.
This Sunday, by popular demand, we welcome once again Sheldon Sketch Aberdeen, this time paying close attention to relapse and recovery. How many times should we forgive and support a friend or family member from constantly relapsing? Let's find out this Sunday from 10 a.m. Listen live on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
This Sunday, on episode 32 of Eye on Dependency, where every life is a biography.
We interrupt the regular scheduled program to stage this special intervention. It is an established fact that addiction is a family disease.
I would go and get it, and I would go in the toilet with it. And when I put up the shot and I exhale, I would be hearing like my brother saying, "Officer, look inside there, they're smoking."
Relapse is a common symptom of the disease, but how does it affect the family?
There was a night my father was asleep and the shirt was hung up right next to his bedhead, and in the pocket was only blue notes. And I get down on my all fours, so I just skirmish inside the place on my all fours and take out $300 and put back the rest of the money and went back out in the reverse gear, watching him all the time, making sure he ain't get up.
This Sunday, by popular demand, we welcome once again Sheldon Sketch Aberdeen, this time paying close attention to relapse and recovery. How many times should we forgive and support a friend or family member from constantly relapsing? Let's find out this Sunday from 10 a.m. Listen live on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
This Sunday, on episode 32 of Eye on Dependency, where every life is a biography.
We interrupt the regular scheduled program to stage this special intervention. It is an established fact that addiction is a family disease.
I would go and get it, and I would go in the toilet with it. And when I put up the shot and I exhale, I'll be hearing like my brother saying, "Officer, look inside there, they're smoking."
Relapse is a common symptom of the disease, but how does it affect the family?
There was a night my father was asleep and the shirt was hung up right next to his bedhead, and in the pocket was only blue notes. And I get down on my all fours, so I just skirmish inside the place.
Where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on I-95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome to Eye on Dependency right here on I-95.5 FM, live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel. Good morning, Natasha.
Good morning, Garth. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. We have a very special guest in studio. Those of you who are tuned in online will see him. And he is back by popular demand, of course, because we want to hear more of his story. I'm sure there are people out there who don't know who he is, and he has a very intriguing story which has to do with drug abuse and his many relapses and life in recovery as well, which is what we're going to focus on today, Garth.
Yes, and there are a number of people out there who you have an addict in your home right now. Probably just got home or now started sleep because they binge whole night. And waking up this morning, you wonder what their next move is going to be. We have hundreds of you out there from our research and from our conversations. I have a number of you out there who have an addict in your home. Probably went to St. Anne's yesterday or last week or preparing to leave this week. And you have this elephant in your living room that, it's you don't know what to do about. Well, we've always said that with people like Sheldon Aberdeen, who has been down that road, and most of you would have met him before. He would have done sketches for you or your children.
Or you
that
would have
you still have,
purchased sketches from him.
or you would have purchased sketches from him.
We have one hanging up in your home right now.
Most of you were amazed. Most of all, were very amazed at how skillful he was. You know, a traffic light don't stay red for long, but you pull up by a traffic light and before it changes, he has your portrait. That is a gift. That is a gift that not everyone is possessed with. And people just couldn't understand, why are you doing this to yourself? Well, this morning we're going to be discussing that. Relapse, prison, we're going to hear a little bit about prison, and of course we're going to talk about recovery. And then we will have Miss Maureen Bowen in the near future to speak to the families now, how you deal with this. And not only families, employers, most of all.
Yes.
Because you are part of the family too. And the same way the home expects the former or the person, as the UNODC has to describe it, the person with drug use disorders, you have to know how to deal with them. It's not just, okay, you're clean now and you get on with your life. It's not as simple as that, because sometimes the home environment or the work environment can cause someone to relapse.
Absolutely.
But you see, employers are not trained in this regard, so they don't know. And that is part of the focus, especially with families. And with families, the addict has to have a routine, which includes a rest time, a downtime. And as they said it in relapse and recovery, there must be a balance. There have to be a balance for the person to stay focused. So you can't be too angry, can't be too sad, can't be too tired, and all of these things. It plays a very important role in the journey. So this morning we're going to be hearing about that.
Yep. And I like that point that you brought up about the employers, because there are a myriad of issues that affect human beings in their lives. And it's often a challenge for employers to create an environment where everybody can thrive. And when you employ persons who have drug use disorders or addictions, it is a challenge to find that balance, because the employee is there to make money for the boss, right? Essentially. But if you do not be cognizant of and give support to your employees, if you value them, you will give them that support and acknowledge their feelings. Hopefully they acknowledge their feelings as well, but give them the support that they need to thrive as human beings first, as individuals, not just as employees, but as individuals. And I think we are going to delve into that a little bit more today, because it's an important factor in the recovery of someone with a drug use disorder.
So if you're just joining us, we thank you very much. Remember, and we have to say morning, Sheldon.
Good morning to all. Morning, Garth. Morning, Natasha.
Morning.
It's a pleasure for this privilege here, granted by you, and to all listeners, loyal listeners, and others. I wish you all a God bless day and all the best.
And we pray that you, the family, and if you can get your person with drug use disorder to listen, then we would have made a difference in your life here this morning. And of course, we have Sheldon did another plane and another video to show you with Sheldon flying another plane, he and his crew. This is the one you call Whistling Death.
Yeah.
Is that one? Right.
Oh boy.
And so Sheldon will give us a brief history about Whistling Death, how he came about creating this plane. Sheldon, folks, is one of the people who, comparing myself, I never had time to develop a skill, because remember, from home I went to the military and then I was discharged, I ended up on the street. And so, but fortunately for Sheldon, he has a skill, just like other addicts, let's say like, people in the entertainment industry who you may know of. they had time to develop a skill. So getting back on track for them should you think would be easy, but then there are challenges with that too. But thankfully, Sheldon is very skillful with his hands, and we hope that one day he will own his own gallery and
or workshop.
And have himself, well situated in life that, he can, when retirement age comes, at least, and by that time your children too will understand and try to get back in line with you, because, we still have that from families, still have that fear about trusting again.
That's right.
And, because, my mother went through it. So I understand, there's that fear that, okay, we tried it once, you relapse. We tried it twice, you relapse. We tried it 3 times, you relapse. How many times should we forgive a person with drug use disorders from relapsing and saying, okay, this time is the right time. This time is the real time.
Yeah.
So we'll discuss all of that, Sheldon, this morning. After this break, we will take a break, folks. And when we come back, we'll show you that. And for those joining late, we can show it again, but we'll show you that video with Sketch in Wallerfield with that another model plane that he built and recently. And then we'll get into the topic. And then there's this one for the officials, for the government, and for the people who need to understand where all these drugs coming from. So we have some. There was a documentary, a short snippet on narco submarines and what they use to transport drugs around the world. It's very interesting, and you can learn something from it. And then we will touch on, before we close, there was a video released by a concerned citizen about the second ground and Skinner Park. And as we deal with social issues as well, we feel the need to highlight that, because I know there are people with their eyes on the newly refurbished Hazy Crawford Stadium. And we need to tell them a thing or two before anybody put their hands on that besides sporting events. We're not going to have that again. These facilities cost millions of dollars, and we have to put our foot down. And just to give you that video that the person released, how in heaven's name you could have a foam party on a grass surface?
That was just laid not months before.
Yes. Well, that will turn into mud. So, but let's not shift focus. We'll focus on that before we wrap up. Let's go to the break. And when we return, we will have our conversation with Sheldon Sketch Aberdeen. Remember, those of you who he had done a sketch for, if you have time to find it, you can post it while we're chatting here this morning, so you can see the beautiful work of this brother and what he did for people around Trinidad and Tobago. Before we take this break, Sketch, how many people you think you would have done portraits for?
Could be roughly 1 million people. Yeah, roughly about 1 million people, yeah. Because over a 20-year period, I draw at least, let's say, 10 to 20 people a day. 20 years, 10 people a day.
Yeah.
You can check it out with the days and the months and the weeks. And
it's a good bit.
You should get a good figure there.
All right, folks. So we will take a break. Gary, leave my mic on because I have to narrate something for the folks, and it's called 5 Ways to Combat Stigma Against People Who Use Drugs. And this will happen 3 times during the breaks. So let's go to the break, and we'll return with Sheldon Sketch Aberdeen. 5 ways to combat stigma against people. Respectful people. Remember that drug dependence is a medical condition that deserves treatment. And it matters. A person with drug use disorders rather than addict or drug user. Avoid judgment to stop this stigma and discrimination. Please stay informed and learn more at the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime.
Hola, my name is Elena. Well, it's actually not my real name. You don't really care, do you? All you care about is once you pay your money to my boss that I look pretty, smell nice, smile for you, and let you have good time, enjoying yourself and doing to me whatever you want to do for the money you paid. What you don't see or know is that I don't get any part of the money you paid. My boss takes all of it. I am forced to work, taking as many clients as my boss tells me to. I am beaten, made to take drugs, and I cannot leave this kind of work on my own. I am a victim of human trafficking. Please, por favor, help me.
Ion Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays, at 10 a.m., and exclusively, on I-95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Ion Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Ion Dependency. Happy Sunday to you. We are in studio, Garth and Natasha, with Sheldon Sketch Aberdeen.
Yes, we are with Sketch this morning, and let's take a look at the video. Let's take a look at that video that Sketch did his latest model plane.
So you will see the model plane being flown, and you'll also see a boat that he built, and the stages of bringing from the little pieces of wood to it actually being sailed on the ocean in the sea. Very interesting, and a couple other shots in there as well. So
yes, let's go to that.
Yep.
This song is dedicated to all my sons and daughters through the four corners of the earth.
Sketch is actually where this is Sketch and Waterfield.
This is that, I believe, opposite the Lansing office in This is a replica of the World War II American fighter, the Fort Chance F4U. It's a single engine, single seater fighter. Fighter just developed, just yesterday developed I think like 18 cylinder Pratt & Whitney R20800 radial engine that drive a Hamilton standard. Well, boy! Propeller was so big that they had to shake the wing with a pen.
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
My replica, the outline was like exact as Velma. So I right now I'm building it. But I'm using the same wings. This plane, this is my second process. Full success. Yeah, boy. What we've got into this is one day when I was remember last well, I hadn't cried in years until a Sunday morning.
Yeah, ready.
That's my I saw this guy come and park his car right on the foreshore there. Take out his remote control button, very large. So I put aside my pipe and everything.
It's just for the real course here, there is bunks plenty. You didn't hear that?
He set it up and then he raised it off the ground. He had a camera in it and he was filming the whole scene off of that hook on the plane. And while filming that, I said, but Sheldon, I talked to myself, I said, Sheldon, and I actually started tripping and I started crying. I started crying. Because know that this is what I left to come on the street here and punish myself like this. And you know, watching the guy flying the plane, it makes me say, but Sheldon, if ever I could stop smoking coke and live a normal life, I would spend all my time building more planes. And thank God I really live to see a couple of planes fly since I come on the street. And this is one of them. This could be about my 10th model. Because I built a lot of them.
Oh, awesome, that look.
Yeah, that's the course here.
Yep.
So this is what the Americans used to fight the Japanese with in the Pearl Harbor?
No, in the South Pacific area, what they canal, Iwo Jima and these places. And they found a lot of zeros. The Japanese came out with zero, the name was zero. That was a very agile fighter plane, single seat. And the reason why it was so successful is because the Japanese used the skills in terms of weight. The belly plane as light as possible. You just put an engine in it and 4 guns. The guns caliber wasn't 50 caliber, it was less than the American plane. And the plane had no protection for the pilot, no armored seats.
Stick up it. This is what we're looking at here. You built this?
I built that in the rehab last year. That's the Pinta. Acoustic Columbus ship. That's a nice little body. A nice picture.
Yeah, this is from Miss Alum, I think it is.
Mr. Alum, yes.
Miss Alum, yeah, you said you did that by Hot Shop.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's you, Natasha, and I
that
you drew there.
Real nice, real good.
Yep.
And yeah, I built that plane in that ship in rehab, and it float successful. You know, first day I went to the sea and I rested on the water. It float. I had a video, but I lost the phone, right? So
no, Sheldon.
Yeah.
Let's talk a bit now for those who listening about relapse.
Yeah.
You were going good and you relapsed the first time. To the uninformed, what causes you to relapse? Because for everybody it's different.
What is your trigger?
I would say, you know what is my trigger? Confusion. I have been disoriented, numbed out, and punished for so many years that suddenly back in 2017, I found myself sober, serene, and clean all of a sudden. Thinking that everything was all right, but then when I had to deal with my emotions concerning, I'm an emotional person. I was very shy in my early days as a teenager. I was very shy. I was afraid to talk to girls and things, Very shy. I would tremble to talk to a girl for the first time. Telling you. But what I would say is my trigger is that I think I was just, I would say mischievous, because I was always a hardened boy. And I think one of the things we have to be, observant or aware of is, they say, it's a saying, that the devil is find work for idle hands.
Yes.
And you see, when I don't find myself busy doing something, I start to think about all the people I hurt beside myself, I start to develop a pity party where I'm feeling sorry for myself. And I would say, look, boy, better go and take a shot, just that might help me forget everything. And my first relapse when I came off the streets was, I would tell you, I took up a bottle of, what do you call this thing, boy? Waste clean with? Not sanitizer, the other thing.
Bleach?
Disinfectant?
No. What is that?
Bleach?
No. I forget it. But the barbers just use.
Or methylated spirit?
Methylated spirit.
Ah, okay.
And I take a little sip on it, just a little sip.
Mentality spirit.
Mentality spirit, about like that. And I find I get a nice high. I say, well, me and bong to pipe coke again, I can just drink a little mentality spirit.
Rubbing, aka rubbing alcohol, right?
Yeah. Right?
Wow.
I was staying at my sister's place, who took me off the streets and took me into her house when I came out from Mount St. Benedict. God bless her soul. And how you going this morning, Vanessa? You know? Anyhow, she had a bottle of mentality spirit in her bathroom. And I started to nibble on that. But what I did, I said, Sheldon, if you notice that going down, I pour water in it to bring it back up now. Pour water in the mentality spirit bottle so she ain't going to recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
And pour too much water so she realized that, but this thing wasn't so full. And before you know the bottle, I said, well, look, when she questioned me with it, and we just shrugged it off, I said, when she way, I finished off that bottle of mentality spirit that was diluted with water. Because I find like with the water it is in a little bit and it's still getting high. You know? But
yeah. I hope this ain't go over people's head. That there are things around the home that can be used by the addict.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
Right.
Mentality spirit is one of them. If you look too sharp, even sanitizer could be drunk to get high.
Because it has alcohol in it.
Yeah.
Correct.
But for me, it was mentality spirits. And when that bottle of mentality spirit finished, I somehow convinced my sister that, look, I could drink beers and don't get the urge for coke. But a little convincing, she finally let up and allow me. But
lesson number 2, folks. Go ahead.
She wasn't updated. She was very upset, very, very against it. But she allowed me. No, she didn't allow me. Let me tell you the truth. She never allowed me. She made a mistake and leave a beer in the fridge and went out. 2 beers, two stag in her fridge. She made that mistake. And when she came back, there was only 1. And that caused a scene, because I went and drank the girl without permission. Stag.
Was there any angst or the, reticence or hesitation on your part to open the beer and look at it and open it and drink it? What the first sip tastes like? What was it?
But I think
how did you feel?
You will believe you me, that stag is what made me easier to go higher. Because following the stag, I went back to my drug of choice, which was cocaine.
Stick up in right there. And that's lesson number 1. To those of you who are about to welcome your addict home or have an addict in the home, having alcohol available can be a trigger. And this is what Sheldon, and it is not our drug of choice, but it opens that door. Go ahead.
It is also a drug. Alcohol is a drug.
Of course it is, but it's not our drug of choice.
It's not our drug of choice.
Right.
However, it's the stepping stone now. It's the door to open. If you don't go, but no, normally if I was to binge or to go on drug, I wouldn't start with a beer first. I would go straight in my drug of choice.
Right.
I would stay clean for how long? And just decide, well, look, I'm feeling fit, and I would go for that. I wouldn't drink a beer or drink a stag or drink a Guinness or drink a rum. I would or smoke a weed. Me, want nothing else. I won't go. I would go straight on the block, fat and nice on the block. And not too long after, the pushman had to be running me because as a pest, I only come to buy things. I was the most regular customer I have. Right? Because this skill that I developed in drawing people, I used to draw people for kicks a long time. But I will tell only what caused me to turn artist on the street. An incident took place between my father and myself home where I took his belongings. And he reminded me. He reminded me. He said, remember the time when the fella was... This is before I ended up on coke. He reminded me of an incident where a piper came in our house to thief. after he had already stolen in our house before. And he came back. But this time we was waiting for him. And my elder brother deal with him. When he was coming through the window, he deal with him. So my father brought it to my attention. He said, Sheldon, you want that to happen there? He said, yes, you want that to happen there? You say, find something else to do to support your habit, you know. You see that thieving thing? Don't do that. And that was the first and last time I ever take up anything from my father's house. I never, well, it's obvious I never jumped fence. I never go in people break car. I never ever resorted to that. Thank God I had this skill. So, with me now being shy, I had to break that shyness to approach people to ask if they want to have themselves drawn. Right? And in the early days, I was still in and out of my mother's house, so I could have still look camouflage. They wouldn't really see the derelict in me when I approach. But I would approach people on the streets by favorite traffic lights. That was my favorite from the start. I don't know how I come up with that. If I ain't go there, I might go by the malls, by the entrance to malls, you know. And people who going in and out, I would stop them and draw them, you know. And this is how the artist was made. The artist who you all know about. Because afraid the consequences of having to take somebody thing and then look over my shoulder. Right?
So that beating you all put on that?
That beating, what my father reminded me of, convinced me that that was the first and the last time of that incident. You understand?
Right.
And he forgave me for it, but I'd never forgive myself because my father, anything he have, and I asked, I used to get it. Once he could afford it. If you can't afford it, you should tell him, me, I have no money for that right now. But once you can make it, you know, you will give it. And the artist was born through, I would say, fear of repercussions now, because the next thing about this drug is that it is get you very frightened. From the time you take the first shot, you get afraid of even
your shadow.
Your shadow.
It's paranoia.
So
now let's talk about the toilet, because that was one of my favorite places to I used to go, and that's another sign for the family that staying a length of time in the toilet, that my mother used to sneak up now and drag the door just to catch me in time. You know,
yeah,
I used to
catch you.
Yes. How was it for you then?
Yeah, well, in those days, that is the same thing that used to happen. Sheldon, how you stay inside this so long? That's because I had 3 brothers. And all of them older than me, including my twin brother, because I born an hour after my twin brother. And they would find, they used to police me, you know. But what it is that this the paranoia of the induced, right? It would get you scared, and if you do something wrong, you know you're gonna be looking for something. You're guilty. So you know that feeling, and to know if you're actually really guilty is no safe. You're enjoying that sprang at all.
Right.
When you bust a shot after you don't take up somebody thing, right? Because that day when I went and take my father money, right, and I was combing St. James, when he finally catch up with me, yeah man, combing St. James whole morning for you. You see that incident there? My 2 knees were kind of buckled because I tell you, they frightened, right? I saw I have a picture of my father, they don't want to show you the size of the strap the man was, right? And I didn't want he to come out from the car there and have to deal with him because I had to run for my life and he could have run. I'm telling the man could have run, So, because at the time he and I went on the beach, there's the days we used to line, and beside we would make $100, I mean 100-meter dash. So we park marker there and we walk back to the starting point, and both we run to reach that marker, and that man beat me in that race. And that's my father. You understand the kind of strength the man had? So me, I ain't want last night also. Being paranoid and having something pending is not in favor of the spranging. You understand? So I used to sprang with a free conscience in the sense that me had to worry about nobody coming to do me nothing.
Right. So you use your skills to get the money.
Yeah, I used to use my skills. I used to go by the lights, draw, and they eventually, I get a name on the East-West corridor amongst all them pushermen. This is called the Pest. You know why this is called the Pest? Because I used to turn over money so quick. And I'm boasting. I used to draw people so fast. Instead of this, they say, boy, why don't wait until evening time when you add up your money? Every time you draw somebody, you run up. Every time I get $20, I run up. God, give me a break now. And push on man begging me to give me a break. You know? You ever see madness so? Push on who thirsty for money.
It happened with me.
Right?
Sheldon, your life and mine is too similar, you know. It's so uncanny, you know. But so by the traffic lights there, and we wanna go closer to the mic. We wanna paint a picture, you know. So the traffic light there, where is to go from there? Run across the road, cross the main road, and go by. We know where.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Everything within easy convenience.
Now, it's so ironic that we know where these blocks are. Let's leave it right there. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency. And we are speaking with Sheldon Sketch Aberdeen. And these blocks that we're talking about are flourishing to this day.
Yep.
It's so ironic. Sheldon, before we go to the break, the how often that, or how long that would go on for? From morning till night, till the next day, that you just draw, go take a shot, draw, go take a shot?
Let me tell you, brother. Let me tell you, but I don't know. Looking back at it now. Brother. You know, the even a donkey, a beast of burden, the stop. You understand? Many tired now. Even a beast of burden to stand up on you and you could beat it how much you want. He's not moving until you get your rest, until he recharge your batteries. This fella here used to go 14 days without sleep. That's how I say bench. 14 days. Every 14 days I used to lie down for 3 days. 14 days. I'm not telling no fable here. This is the facts that I'm not telling as it is.
See the sun come up, see the sun go down.
Sunrise and sun go. If you see you should show one of my pictures. That's a good. Any picture you show these people still better than what you used to look like. You are telling you. And the thing about it is, even in the dark, even in the wee hours in the morning, I by a traffic light join somebody by the car window. It could be how pitch black the night. When I say the other night, the other night in St. James Coran, go on the place black out. Place black out, you know.
Mm.
The man ain't had no light in his car. You know what I'm telling you? The fella don't have no light for when he could just flick the light and I could see him with the light in the car. He ain't had no light in here. There's no light in here, boy. How you join me? I say, wait now, you turn and I draw the man in the pitch black, you know. You hear telling you? And I see the man face right there and draw the man and give the man the picture and collect my $20. You know. That was about probably 3-4 o'clock in the morning. You know. Still dark, you know. So it didn't have no stop. It was non-stop. Non-stop, I tell you. Even 6 o'clock. I used to watch the sun come up. Yeah. But you know, within that life, it had some amazing moments when things used to happen that used to make me, you know, relate with normal life now. It had these 2 fowls, 2 hen. Used to come by me by the traffic light there. I think it's 5:30 every morning. These 2 hen, I would just open my light and just peep so and see the 2 hen coming from quite to running coming. And what? They come by me and walk all over me and stand up and the waiting until when I get something to eat for me to get them, because the mistake I make is that they used to be stray away, you know. That's a man, but they used to be stray away now. They used to leave to look for little thing to peck now. And one day they come by me and I give them something to eat, and that was the beginning and the end for me. I had to feed them fowl every day after that.
You don't mind them now.
These 2 fowls used to come and lie with me, eating out of my hand. Until I used to hold it in my hand so and say, come. The fowl flying off with the ground and land on my hand. I don't know the fowl don't know me, you know. And you know, until it had this fella used to come and say, "But that means your fault." I say, "No, yeah, well, you ain't gonna mind give me it now. Just give me it now. Just treat me card it. We're going to do it. I'm gonna cook it now." I say, "Yeah, well, you can't get it." I say, "You see my pet or you're disrespectful." A frizzle fowl, a grey frizzle, and a brown hen, and 2 hen, but normal.
So after you feed them, they just bust it?
No, them say leave 6 o'clock in the evening.
So this is still
like clockwork, you know. As soon as that clock strikes 6,
the
2 fowls just say, "Let me go, boy." And they see the whole hands and cross the road, you know. That part I go exaggerate that part. But the way they used to cross, you know, I used to watch and see, but the thing and them used to stop and watch to see if car come in.
Well, they're accustomed with street life.
And go back wherever they come from, you know.
So did you ever draw them?
No, apparently no. I never draw these 2 hens. But
I would make a nice picture.
A brown one and a grey frizzle one. Grey frizzle.
According to Colleen, that is how hens and roosters are. They're very loving animals.
Yeah, you could be pet.
Yes, absolutely.
I said, you can't walk on because
very intelligent too.
By the generator there?
Yes.
By Sylvester there?
Yeah.
On that side? Right there. So some people from the West, some white people, gave me a gym mat.
A yoga mat.
A yoga mat. Mm-hmm. And if you know that is to sleep nice, brother. That thing is to sleep nice, partners. I on my yoga mat sleeping, and these fowl only come in and lie in with me until morning. When I wake up, I open my eyes, is a fowl watching me in my face, so. I'm telling you. And by this next place, where you call it, Subway, it had some pigeons used to be above by Critchlow and them, the pharmacy, on the wires there. And I used to lie down right by Subway there. Now, sometimes I got crumbs on me because the people who going in the place, yeah, right? Some of them say, "I ain't getting you no money, but you want to eat."
Right.
That's some people used to do it like that. Mm-hmm. And this is hand me bread and thing right there, whatever size, you want the biggest one, right? And they used to give me. And when I don't eat, it's crumbs all over me. The pigeon and them up on the electric wire, I say, "Stay quite up there and see the crumbs, you know. And come down." And if you see pigeon, you used to be wrong me.
Yes.
If you see pigeon.
Pigeons also very loving animals and
I used to
intelligent
like
too.
me with the fowl. If it's not the fowl, it's the pigeons. And these little times used to be nice times.
Yeah, but you never, okay, but that's not normal.
But, I mean, that was in the degraded state.
Right, but it ever bothered you that I like me with 2 fowl? That ever dawned on you that, you know, look.
Suppose, so what was your relationship with other animals, like dogs and cats? Would they come to you?
Because I'm sure you run into plenty stray dogs too while you're on the street.
Well, the thing about it is, you know.
Look where we reach, huh?
I cough a dog in the face already.
No, God.
No, we not.
The dog rushing me. And I said, "Oh, so you feel you could just," and, you know, I fold my hand and cough that dog in the face, and the dog ain't worried about it. Rush me again. Okay. I could pass the after the amount of time.
No, but what we're talking about here, folks, is life on the streets as an addict.
Yeah.
And this is when your addict not around you, you don't know what they're going through. Now, you had a relationship, sort of, with the St. James Police. Tell us about that.
Well, I'll tell you, St. James Police. You know, they used to say, "Artists, all this talent you have, right? What are you doing with it?" And don't give you no bullshit, eh? Say, come. What are you doing with all that talent? They say, if I lay a drumming now and I give your money, where you going to do that? Say, I go and buy corporate now? Yeah, I'm drumming. And I will draw him. When I don't draw him, yeah, make sure I go on before you go where you go, eh? Make sure I out of sight before you go wherever you're going. That was the policeman. But things like that will happen, and you know, they would relate with me. They would come, they would lie, they would say, "But all this talent, boy, you should be working for me, boy. You could draw, you come and look for work as a police artist."
Right.
You know? And
yeah, because you could really replicate, you know, a suspect anytime, you know.
But they never pressure me to say, because they realize that I don't touch and I don't distress people and I'm not rude and I'm not disrespectful to people.
No, it had a female police officer too.
Yeah.
used to check you as well.
Yes, she used to come in the night with every night with a if not a KFC, she come with a Subway burger, a Subway sandwich, and she would sing hymns for me, spiritual songs. This nice red lady, I can't remember her name, but her fair skin lady boy. She used to come by the traffic lights and sing for me. She'd pull up, you know.
In uniform?
In uniform, you know. But another probably two other officers in the van, you know. Right? And sing for me and things. She said, you have talent, but one of these days, I know God will deliver you from here. I telling you, Sketch, don't worry yourself. You might be thing now, but one day you'll go overcome this thing, boy. You know?
I hope she's listening.
Always really pleasant, and I never know how I never saw her after that for the little times that she used to come.
Yeah.
That was probably what she was stationed in St. James now.
Right. If you're just joining us, folks, you're listening to Dependency, and we are speaking with Sheldon Sketch Aberdeen. We have some questions on YouTube and Facebook for him as well, and we'll get to that in a moment. Remember, while those of you on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel and click that button so that you can be notified every time we go live.
Yes.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about our first journey into prison. What it did for me, what it did for Sheldon. Our guest of honor this morning is Sheldon Sketch Aberdeen, and he's going to tell us about his first trip to prison. You're listening to Dependency. Stay right there. We'll be back. 5 ways to combat stigma against people who use drugs. Be empathetic and respectful to those who use drugs. Remember that drug dependence is a medical condition and deserves treatment. Language matters. Use person with drug use disorders rather than addict or drug user. Avoid judgment to stop stigma and discrimination. Stay informed, and you can learn more at unodc.org.
Listen now, I has noticed something about them new people and them up Bureau Day. Where's that? Girl, the man that he passing up and down in front of here with a set of woman.
I really noticed some woman living there, you know. And they can't even say as much as good morning.
Well, listen now, I wonder if it's human trafficking. You think it's that?
So, how can you spot and identify perpetrators and victims of trafficking? Many victims are found living and working together in the same place and sleep in shared and inappropriate spaces. Victims work excessively long hours. They often sleep in the daytime and work long nights. They are often escorted everywhere they go and may appear to be malnourished. They may show signs of physical abuse, drug and alcohol use, and may also appear withdrawn, fearful, or intimidated. Victims who are migrants are often not in possession of their identity or immigration documents and have irregular immigration status. Perpetrators can be male or female and may appear to be managing or controlling the victims. And they may even at times appear to be the victim's best friend, boyfriend, or employer.
We are the counter-trafficking unit of the Ministry of National Security, Trinidad and Tobago, safeguarding human life.
Ion Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays, at 10 a.m., and exclusively, on 95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Ion Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Ion Dependency, and Garth and I are in studio with Sheldon Aberdeen, also known as Sketch.
No, Sketch, I would have seen during my time a lot of people, like just I did, started going by the pusher, well-dressed, and then ended up almost vagrant-like. would you have seen other young people or other brothers or sisters in that manner as well before we go to prison? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, for some reason, I don't know what it is. Call me back now. I'm on the air right now.
Put it on silence there. Put it on silence.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know what it was, that where I used to be smoking on a regular basis, I used to see like an exodus of stragglers coming in the same area. If I come in an area, the place would be nice and quiet. The second time I go there, it's still nice and quiet. The third time I go there, it's nice and quiet. But eventually, I would start to see one new face piping, two new face, and so it was a whole, right? And a lot of them used to be young people. They had this young guy.
Go ahead, you go ahead, because I think the police lady responded. The police.
What?
Yeah. This is what I'm seeing.
No,
here.
somebody says, I wish you could have remembered her name. I would have told her myself how she impacted you. I'm actually in the station now. I remembered you. It's really blesses my heart to see you and hear you, to see what you've become. God bless. This is
Good morning to St. James Police Station.
Morgan.
Good morning to St. James Police Station.
So
Good morning.
They're locked on.
God bless that lady and continues to bless her daily and keep and guide her and protect her. And hello, by the way. Good to hear from you. If it's you or if it's not you, good to hear your voice it's good to make connections with you once again. And
There's another police officer who says that she...
all the same, you know?
Yeah.
She represents the same goodness.
Yeah, so you were saying you saw...
So, yeah, I see this fella, boy, this dark-skinned fella, the fella he resembles this fella. You know, as an artist, I had this way I could relate people's features with movie actors.
Right.
You remember Agent 99 from Agent 99?
Get Smart?
Get Smart.
Uh-huh.
It's a black version of Get Smart. And the Negro version, I'm talking about jet black like this phone screen here. The fella real dark, I'm telling you.
Uh-huh.
But have Get Smart features. Good looking. Well, boy, the boy come in the area, good. Me and he hit it off, you know, we used to talk and make joke and thing. And eventually, I started to see the man deteriorating. He get real sick, you know, till, like, I see him in plaster Paris. I said, what is that? Don't tell me, what I'm saying, somebody beat you, nobody. He climb up, you see behind the laundry, when it burned down, right in St. James.
On No Crap Road?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He climb up somewhere there, on the sign, on the big sign poster, and fall off of that. He went a bit of smoke, he tell me. He said, I went a bit of smoke that nobody go bother me, boy. And I ain't like I step on something and give way. And he fall down and then in plaster Paris. He hold on in plaster Paris. You know? Face bust up and thing. And he fall down in him.
Right.
Like when he plays it now thing. But anyhow, I see other cases where a lot of people who, I mean, even females too. There's this nice young dark-skinned girl, you know. This girl come right by me and decide she am moving. And she sketch, I staying on this block with you, because I find you make plenty money here. I could beg here. I say, you do we want this is the government road, you can ask me, you know. And so she stay right there and start to beg until she lost it. She lost it all, boy. She used to go on with her face crying. Give me some money, give me. You know, I said, not so. You don't beg like that. You don't let people know it's desperation, man. You know, go there calm and nice. You know.
So you had to help her understand how to beg.
Well, when me and nobody to draw, I used to beg too. So I, you know, I teach you don't get on so you like it. You know, you're so thirsty for the thing. You know, but you know, thank God, it really have a God. Right, people? Let me acknowledge that, right? Whether you're atheist or not, you know it have a God, right? And God bless that girl to stop that thing, but she driving canting now, you know, boy. Yeah, boy. I see the girl, she married now.
Really?
Yeah, the girl catch herself 100%. 100%, I'm telling you.
So we can recover.
That's what I'm telling you, we can recover. Recovery is possible. When I saw that, I said, well, the girl stop at time. She said, Sketch, look me, you know. And she had, look at 20. And she catch me, say, but she, God bless you, girl. She married and things. You know, that's how long I stay with it.
Yeah. But you ended up in prison the first time. How did that happen?
Right. The first time I ended up in prison, let me tell you how this happened. I had not too long left the regiment, was kicked out of the army. It could be about 4 or 5 months on the streets. So I went up to Paradise Heights in Mover because I still stray away. I was a total stray away, I tell you. Real stray away. Walk any way. I go in beat them. I go in Bangladesh. I go in with the baddest people, and I don't know how I used to get along with everybody. Right? And I ain't saying nothing bad about all the people there, right? But at the same time, you know, it has certain places, certain people ain't going.
Right.
A boy like me who grew up the way I grew up, the places I used to go is not places I would have go when I normal, right? But I end up in Mover, Paradise Heights, knocking on people's door. Could I draw a picture? They used to let me draw them, and everybody, I say, hit it off nice with everybody, you know, because they used to like my art and thing. Thank God for that. Bunks up on this lady. When she opened the door, is my mother friend who my mother working with. I ended up in front of her house quite by coincidence. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know she was living there. I never go there intentionally to say I'm going by her. But I met up with the lady there. And the lady said, but you wasn't in the army and thing. How you went up so? So I told her, I said, well, not too long ago, mommy put me out and I live on the street now. She come inside, come. And she took me, you know, to live with her, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This lady had 4 sons, right? All of them is big men now, right? And they were little boys at the time, little boys. And I and them used to go down real good. She had a room in the back where I think nobody was occupying that room, I know, but she gave me that room. And while I was there, she said, I make some calls and things, and I call these people at the boat house, and they're coming for you. They come and they carry you in a rehab. No. When she told me that, I had some tablets. I think I had escaped from St. Anne's with some tablets, or was let out from St. Anne's. And I had some tablets. And when she told me, the people coming to carry me back in a rehab, for some reason, like a switch. Yeah. Like something just switching me and make me realize, but Sheldon, you know, coming from where you come up from, right? You was good in the army. You things, and now you had to be in this rehab. You had a nice girlfriend, I had a beautiful girlfriend. I lost her through drugs too, and you know, I say, you know what? The hell was it everything, yes? I didn't think I willing to go down that long road because the rehab that was going for me, I had to spend about 9 months now. I mean, I custom staying away from my house or being penned up for so long, you know? Could be all that. And I just decided, I say, you know what? When the people come the morning for me, God, as they come, I just went and just take the 2 boxes of sleeping tablets and just gulp it down and just drink some water behind it. Walk out the road, good and normal, you know. Went in a maxi, normal. But while on the way to the rehab with the 2 people, God, I don't know, I just can't remember, I just black out. To me, it was like a blackout. But I was told afterwards, right? When I woke up in a police vehicle, right? Them jail vehicle, but there's a prisoners in. All that time I didn't know myself, you know. I came to in that place there. So probably whatever I was doing, I still wasn't myself. And they took us out and we went somewhere, we processed, and then they was putting me back in the vehicle to go somewhere. And when they was putting me back in the vehicle, I decided, I said, me ain't going back in there. I'm not going back in there, but the police take SLR partners and hit me one to face. SLR about to face, yeah.
What?
Yeah, and I fall down on the ground and he stamp on me. Right? And said, get in the vehicle before I shoot you, boy. Yeah. And put me in the vehicle. And from that, I head in jail battered. Yeah, face bust up and thing from the legs. And that was my first experience at jail, partners. That was my first experience at jail. And I say like God punish me for that attempt to suicide, boy. God, but when I reach in front of the magistrate, that is when I get to know what I do inside of here, you know. They say you was trespassing in somebody's yard. But when I came out from jail, 2 people who was escorting me to the rehab, when I blackout, told me, they say, you just throw your body out from the window of the van, the vehicle driving. You throw your body out, you throw yourself out from in there, and you're running some people's yard, and you run up under the house. And we didn't come out from there because, you know, and the people called police for you. That is when the thing where they take the 2 sleeping tablets, 2 boxes, even kick in, it had me delirious. Me, you know what's going on.
Right.
Out of my mind, I can't. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Thank God it's that way, man. I run in front of a car was coming fast. Because I want to know myself.
Were you able to explain that to the magistrate?
I can't remember whether I explained what it was. I probably most likely did explain to her a look thing. But I served 3 months for trespassing. Right? I served 3 months for trespassing. And while I was in the prison, my ex-girlfriend, because I had already been discharged from the army.
Sorry, stick up in Sheldon. Was there any, did the magistrate know that you were a drug user?
No. I can't remember all
if
these
it came
details.
up at all in the court.
I can't remember the details of that.
Okay.
But what I do remember is that while I was in prison, I was saying, but how come nobody ain't coming to take me out? Nobody ain't coming to take me out. Next thing I hear, the prison officer come. Aberdeen cell, you have a visitor outside to see you. I say, what? I say, what is this your girlfriend? She said to say it's a girlfriend. When I go out there, it's my ex-girlfriend. My first girlfriend who I ever had, this most beautiful woman in the world. To me, it's not a more pretty girl than her. Up to today. And she brought some clothes for me. I said, what? I said, you bring your clothes for me? I said, you come to take me out from in here. You should know you're still right there. I bring your clothes for you to make you comfortable, but stay there because you like too much cocaine. Go stay right inside of there. You understand?
Yeah.
And by the experience, I ended up, kind of squabble. A prison officer beat me because I was walking in the corridor when it ain't supposed to have nobody walking there. And I don't know how I ended up there at that time. I can't remember. I think it was something. I went back to my cell. It was ration time, but I went back to my cell to get something to come back now. And he see me inside there by myself and beat me with a baton, brother. Beat me in that cell there with a baton. You know the funny thing about it is, see that same prison officer who beat me with a baton? You know, after I went through all that, and Express called me back to work, and I was working in the Express again. And there I out in front of the Express by the gate smoking a cigarette. I see a vagrant coming, asking for money. You know, it's the same prison officer, boy.
What?
He ended up on drugs.
Wow.
Yeah, boy, that same prison officer ended up on drugs.
He remembered you?
I didn't think he remembered me. I didn't tell him nothing. I just watched you. I said, wait, I know that face somewhere. But and then when I remember, I just mean to nothing. You know? But it's ironic.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and we have in studio Sheldon Sketch Aberdeen. And again, for those of you on YouTube, we have some questions. I'm sure Natasha will have some there. And we will ask Sheldon in a while. In the meantime, you can like and subscribe to our channel, please. And you will be notified when every time we go live. So Sheldon, you spend the entire 3 months in prison.
Yeah, and when it was a holiday, let's say a holiday would come or a weekend would come, at the time I used to feel in prison for some reason or the other.
Same here.
During the week, no pressure, you know.
Yes.
You see, on a Saturday and a Sunday, I'm on a holiday, and on Saturday, I used to get real pressure, but look what I is inside this place, and I claustrophobic, eh?
Mm-hmm.
You notice me claustrophobic inside that prison. You feel like little thing walking all over you. You ain't smoke nothing, you ain't do nothing, but you're just feeling like you want to go crazy because you're inside this closed place. The walls feel like you're coming in on you. You can't move, right? And that feeling of despair used to be, I had to actually regulate my paranoia or my discomfort, you know? I started to actually calm myself down because I said, like, I can't breathe, you know? In jail, I had that problem. And the prison system here, I don't know if it, I mean, outside it might be the same, but they see the set a man in one cell, partners. I couldn't handle it. And there was a time I was sleeping later morning on a piece of sponge on the ground. And you remember Rambo?
Mm-hmm.
Vagrant who was in town?
Yeah.
The big trapper Rambo. Rambo was in a cell with me. And Rambo just decided out of the blue just to lift me up and capsize me and my sponge. And tell me, we don't want no late sleeping in this cell. You understand?
Rambo.
Yeah, Rambo.
You know, I haven't seen Rambo in a while. You know Rambo? Rambo was a 6 foot tall, 6 foot in Port of Spain. He was a regular in Port of Spain. Huge guy, muscular, you know. Yeah.
Was a bodybuilder before you went mad now.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah. And this man capsized me in the cell and tell me, hey, we don't know late sleeping in here, boy. And that experience really shake me about. So look how I can't do this man nothing now, but me have a little nothing to dig up, you know. Because I have a little temper too, you know. I had nothing to retaliate with, and I dare not retaliate with my hand because I go, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see, I ain't want nothing with that. You know?
But so you were released from prison and you went back to the streets, or your family took you back?
Yeah, well, my family took me back eventually, you know, and I was given a reprieve because my twin had died while I was on the street, right? My twin died home, and when he died, my mom sent people to look for me, and somebody find me, I think it was on Frederick or someone. Somebody did find me and say, hey, I think it was in Borsia. I was in Borsia, I was going through Borsia. And somebody say, hey, but your mother want to see you, boy. Your mother say, come home, boy. She said, come home. That was when the incident took place now. The person say, your brother dead and he had to come home. My mother said, come home. What? So I went home. I put up my head on the wall because when I reached there, I ain't see he. And like the news is true. What I get, the news is true. That's my twin. Me and he resemble. Me and he the same. We used to sleep on the same bed. We used to do everything together. We used to draw together. He used to draw his books. I could be drawing my comic books. He could be drawing his comic books. When he passed, I tell I couldn't. That shock. I put the wall until I bleed blood through my nose. You know, literally put concrete.
Yeah.
That.
How did he die?
Well, well, that was a family dispute. They had a fight, and he pulled something for the next one, and so on, right? And by accident, somehow, and if he fall on the knife or whatever, but he get stabbed.
So he died, and what happened to the other brother?
And the other brother did some time.
He's still doing time, or he's out?
No, he died too. All my brothers are dead. Right? I had 3 brothers. One was a soldier, just like me. The next one was a barber. And the next one was an artist. That's my twin brother. He was an artist. He did the Republic Readers with Boyo and Kala. You see all the illustrations for the first Boyo and Kala. You will see illustrator Sheldon Aberdeen. He did all of those.
You know about Boyo and Kala?
Yes, of course. I grew up with that.
What you say?
Well, I mean, of course I know about that.
All your children?
Well, yes. Yes, I know to you, yes.
Yeah. I realize how old I is. Because, yeah, well...
No, I didn't know that.
And
Boyo and Kala, first issues that was published by Frank Porter.
Uh-huh.
Frank Potter gave my twin brother the contract to draw all the books.
Wow.
And that
What
boy
you
used to
say?
beg me, Sheldon, just draw the 2 blocks for me and I'm tired. And I said, come and help him. You know? I said, help him. So
Didn't you do a logo for a burger?
yeah, I did the burger that smell B&M burgers, or M&M or something. The burger, no, the Jingle Bell jog.
Mm-hmm.
No, yes, the burger. I did the burger and I also did the Jingle Bell jog for Express. Remember they had a Jingle Bell jog around the savannah, a bell with a smile?
Mm-hmm.
And the bell had some what do you call it thing? What do you call it, little green thing? Christmas time now, the I forget the name of the thing, yes. The bell had a smile and it had a pair of track shoes. And the hollies.
Right.
Yeah. And I also did the burger too with the smile. Right? It's a burger with a smile. I did that. That was the first time I ever see a burger with a smile. Yeah. When I did that. But that was back in the early 80s. Must be about.
Yeah, someone who lives in America contacted us and told us about that. You are the Express at the time and somebody asked you to.
Yeah. And I also did Trincom. Remember Trincom 1990 with the robots? I built 4 big robots for the Express.
Uh-huh.
And I decorate the lounge like if you're walking you're walking through an alleyway, but the alleyway is like a dome, a corridor, and when the corridor now had plastic over it, and when you look outside, we had black sheets all over with glitters and thing, and the robots outside there looking like if it's aliens now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're in a space dome, and when you're looking outside, you're seeing robots. And I made the robots out of what do you call this thing? Printing plates. Press plate. The plate with the aluminum plates. I made the robots life size. And Trincom 90 and Trincom 91. I did that for the Express.
Now, for those of us, for those who are listening, and somebody asked the question, people tend to think that substance abuse is just relegated to poor people, when there are influential people as well.
Correct.
Would you have encountered anybody of influence while during your time with using, and saw their denigration?
Well, I'll tell you the sad thing about it here, I'll be honest here. A couple of rich people came to me, and these people look well off, that driving nice vehicles, but for some reason they used to come by me. They say, Sketch, you look like a fella that ain't go around with my money. Go wait parties, buy a thing and buy a juice bottle, buy a stem for me, and buy $100 in Coke for me. And when you come back, I'm going to pay you. And I say, well, give me the money. They say, don't run away now, making it block and come back. I say, when you come back, you see me sit down right here, because it's right there. And I used to go and buy the thing for them, and when they come back, give them the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, boy, this is our first time for everything, but you the first man I get something and ain't run away with my money, I say, and it's right here living. You see here living, you see me here every day. Where I go hide? Make no sense I'm running. And they say, oh, give me something when I come back. I say, well, it's your turn to live up to you, and they got back, and they said, give me what they said, oh, give me. Right? So it had this fella now who used to come with the car, and he said, what are you going on? Jump in the car with me now. Just want to make a spin, and I go use your Zoosh, and you go and buy the drugs and things for me. So I went and I buy the drugs, come back, pick him up, and he's driving about the place with me in the car. A rich guy, a white guy. And he's smoking while he's driving. And I say to myself, Lord, I just hope this man don't get no symptoms while he's driving, my boy. I pray this man don't get no symptoms and run off the road. But the man could have handled it, boy. I sure he was a pilot or something. This man had real skills. You bust a shot. And this will go. But he had full retainance as to the presence now.
Uh-huh.
Because for me, I know if I bust a shot while I'm driving, you know what I mean? They ain't walking.
Wow.
So, this is the experiences I had. A lot of rich people used to come and give me money to buy things for them. I used to go buy it and bring it back for them, and they said live up to them and in the bargain. Discipline.
Somebody's asking on YouTube. June asked, "Do you know someone named Johan?"
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yes, I do. Yeah.
He's still out there on the streets
I
struggling.
was told about that. Yeah. He and I was in the army together. He was
Coast Guard.
Yeah, Coast Guard. He and I was in the cell together in Coast Guard in army. When I was doing my discharge. Yeah, but I didn't know what was his problem. But apparently, this is what must have happened to he too. Because it's a progressive illness, you know that, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, Johan, have been struggling, and his family have been struggling with him for years. And, I mean, a lot of people tried. But this is the point now where we will get to the families now for them to understand that everybody can try. But then there's a point where the individual may have to experience the nuclear blast and come to terms for themselves, because you cannot really force someone to accept that they have a problem and they need help. Is that correct?
Correct is right. Correct is right. Now, they may acknowledge that, yes, they have a problem, but they're not willing to do anything about it. Having a problem, admitting it, and doing something about it is three different things. Now, for me, I know I can't, it's still not a big enough a reason to some people, but for me, right? I cannot try to be friends with drugs. I've tried and failed. I've tried and failed. I can't be friends with it. It's not my friend, right? Because if I used to say, well, look, I have everything now. When I came on the streets, I inside my apartment, I have food to eat, I have toys, I have everything. It's time to sit down and take a smoke and celebrate. Everything coming out from the apartment there. Long as I tried one little smoke, I'm going to lose everything that I work hard for. Right?
You told us you sold an apartment for $2,000. How did that happen?
Yeah, well, I was living in an apartment. The landlord was a lady. She lived by herself, and she was very nice, very nice. She used to cook for me. The woman used to treat me real nice, boy. Every Sunday, I could swear, I sure. I get in Kalalu. Every Sunday I get in Kalalu. And stew chicken and macaroni pie and thing. This woman used to come downstairs. Sketch, look, I bring. She used to come to Sheldon. Sheldon, look, I bring something here for She said, thank you very much. And boy, when I started sprang, the woman couldn't believe it, boy. The woman said, because my friends and them told the lady about me. They say, watch him, he's a recovering addict. Right? So, it's to see it was a secret to she. And she always used to tell me, but I know never used to keep it a secret. I used to talk to she and tell she, yeah, I spent real years down on the foreshore. I was serving a sentence. I served a 20-year sentence on the foreshore. I sentenced myself to 20 years of pure hell. And I so happy now that I'm in this little place here. The place was well cozy. It had all the living modern day necessities, everything. And she used to tell me, do ever go back on that, Do go back there. And then she started to smell weed. So she come down, Sketch, Sheldon, is weed that smelling there? I say, yeah, you can't do that. If you think you will eventually go back on, I say, nah, don't worry, man, don't worry. I say, tell you, man, don't worry, I good with my little weed. Yeah. Well, boy, eventually it didn't take too long for me to go pick back up the drug of my choice. And that was it. When I did that, I told her, see how good or not. You have a choice. It's either let me sell the pusher man everything, or you take them. I said, because I will sell the fridge, I'll get the pusher man the fridge, you want the fridge, you want this, you want everything, you want the stove, you want everything. So, she said, well, I go take it. I said, well, give me $2,000, I'll take everything. She gave me the money, and I went down on the foreshore. But I don't know if I should mention it. I was working where I work, right?
Yeah, but that time you were under Mr. Haddad that they had, right.
When I went there, back on the foreshore, I lie down on the grass in the hot sun. And all of a sudden, Sheldon, when I look, I see my supervisor and a co-worker standing up there in the work clothes. They say, we come for you, boy. When I take my eyes off of them and I turn my head the next one, I look, so it's a kobo up in a tree watching me, you know, brother. If you saw the kobo watching me. The kobo up in the tree watching me lie down on the ground all the time, you know. You understand? Many of the kobo go and mistake me for dead and come and start advising on me, but the first thing I see when I open my eyes is my two colleagues, my two work colleagues. And as I turn my head to I see this kobo up in the tree watching me, I say, well, boy, what to do with Sheldon, boy? Go with them or stay here? They say, boy, we come for you, come. You have to go back to me, I say, well, hey, what? I come in, right? But you have to lend me $40 before I go. You have to lend me $40. Yeah, leave my wallet in work, boy. He's smart too bad. He give me nothing now. You find a tail inside the car now, man. Right. And they put me in the car and the car back we have. I thank God for Mr. Haddad and the hardcore group. I thank them for this.
But you relapse 4 occasions.
I will lapse 4 times, yeah.
Now, what is the final decision now? What made you decide finally, that's it, you're done, you're not going back to that?
I realized I used to be negotiating too much with the drug and the use of it.
Tell us about that.
It's as it is. Some folks could use it and some can't. I am in those who can't bracket. Today I am a year, 2 months, and 6 days clean. Thank God for that. I give God all the glory, right? And asking for continued guidance and protection and strength, because I never really accept the fact that the first one is the problem. You see, you could be going good until you take the first one. That is the one to stay away from.
Yep.
You cannot rationalize or negotiate with drugs. You have to draw a line. You have to say, listen, that is it. Because, I mean, I may use nicotine, right? And coffee, but eventually I will cut that out even, right? But you see, as far as that is concerned, going beyond there, that's a no-no, because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to be in the same position as I am now, right? And that and all whatever intentions of good that I might have concerning myself and the future, that will go out the door immediately.
Because we want the families to know as well that a relapse always brings more pain than the last time.
Not only that, if you think you have problems, why you wanted to use the drugs, right? If you think the problems you have is going to be solved when you pick up the drugs, no self is going to have problems.
Right.
It's no self you're going to be in problems, and the problems that is going to have following the marriage or the reunion is going to be 12 times harder than the ones that I was facing all the time. I had to be looking for somewhere to live. I got to be begging somebody for a plate of food when they come. I will have no shame, no pride, no self-respect. All these things just go out the door instantly. It's as if, well, I'm no longer a vessel of consciousness or conscience. You know, they have no shame. Could be naked in front of people and they don't make a difference. That you see, that is an insanity. That I've been there, done that. I've been there. I've reached where I had no shame. Because when I used to be on that little stretch there in Mokorapo, sometimes I would be using drugs right there. And when I get a symptoms, after I dilate the thing, I take off all my clothes, naked, in front of the general public. People passing in the car and seeing myself. These are the things. It does not shame. And I mean, it don't happen already, nothing I could do about the past.
Shortman, put up that billboard with Sheldon as a vagrant and how he is now from a police so that people can see where he came from and people can have that confidence that sooner or later their relative will at some point come to their senses, because this is the picture that we took, and you sent us one recently with you again, Sheldon,
episode 32 graphic, the one with the two images of it.
remember when you stop the lights, he will be there.
I'm trying to put my...
Okay, maybe you should check your device. Yeah, so this is what Sheldon looked like. And your children spoke with you, or were they afraid of you?
This photograph was taken by my son, the one who is the soldier now.
Uh-huh.
My last son took this photograph here, the one with me back there.
Yeah.
He came at night, he was about 13 or 14 years. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And he came at night, he himself and his other siblings was in St. James for Carnival now.
Uh-huh.
And he run away from the group to run down there to see me and run down there and meet me there, you know. He leave quite up in St. James, right? And run down the road just to take this picture, you know.
Here's a picture of Gloria Charles Panton that you did, a portrait. Thank you, Miss Panton, for sending this picture.
That look real good, boy.
Yeah. Do you remember the year he took this, he did this portrait for you, Miss Panton? And Major Jack says, good morning.
Mm-hmm. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Pleasant day to you. Respect.
No.
Yeah.
And Adi coming out of rehab has to have a balance in his life. Right? We don't want parents, we don't want people to think that, okay, you walk out of rehab and everything is back to normal. There must be order. There must be a schedule. There must be discipline. Thank God for you, Sheldon. You have a skill. Right? Unfortunately for me, I didn't get a chance to develop one. This is why Dependency means so much to me. Because just like you and other talented entertainers in this country who've been there, done that, you all happen to have a skill. But there must be an order in your life. Are you following that now?
Well, I will say to you, one of the good things, I tell you, Garth, I tell you, I don't know who was behind it. I can't put my finger, I don't know if it was Mr. Robert Haddad, because he's a very organized gentleman. Very organized man. And I don't know if the person who came to me were also in contact with him or whoever it was, but there seemed to have been an entourage of people that had a specific, I would say, obligation, right, into seeing me removed from the foreshore by the traffic lights and brought back to sanity. And they had a program, a rigorous program. I tell them, I say rigorous. This program, every Saturday, I had to go yoga classes. Right? These same people come and pick me up home, you know, and take me to yoga, you know. And this was all morning, from Saturday morning till noon. in yoga class, right? And the activities that they would be a part of with me were like the host two exhibitions for me. One at the Black Box and one at the Art Society in Bosia there. And the people were always in contact with me. They used to handle my finances and everything. Right? I didn't used to see money. Anything I want, they would just say what you want, what you need, right? And they will go into my account, right? Because through the exhibitions that they held for me, I was able to have some collateral in the bank. I had a nice little raise in the bank, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the people would hold my book for me, right? And they would just ask me what it is I need, and they will go and purchase it. So it wasn't to say I was on my own. I wasn't on my own. They was always paying me visits. They would take me to classes. If they didn't take me to classes, they would meet me at the venues where they would be having classes. When I say classes, you know, the NA meetings that take place.
Yeah.
They have one at CIC I attend to, right? And these people were really, I would say they were really connected and committed, you know, into seeing Sketch recover now. They would take me to these, they would send someone to carry me maracas if I want to go. You know, I would get a driver to come and pick me up home, carry me on the beach, bring me back, buy little snacks for me, but no money. They didn't give me money for no reason. They didn't let me handle money because I did not come up the streets.
And
right?
money is a trigger
And
for
that,
those of you who don't know.
Let me tell you, that, in case anybody didn't know, let me hear it now. I am the one, Sheldon Aberdeen, right? I'm the one who told them that they ought to operate that way. I said, don't give me any money. Right? Whatever I need, give me, but money is my trigger. This is what I told them. Right? And they stick to that. They stick to it like a stamp on a letter. They never devote from it. Right? And I find that was so amazing, the way they used to operate, so clockwork. I mean, if I had to go by the doctor, they would make sure. Right? So I think all this was as a result of the hardcore group and Mr. Robert Haddad, that all these things was organized for me and I was taken care of. But, you know, eventually I started to get complacent and I started to not binge, but nibble. Any little way I see where I could get a little money, right? And I started to do it secretly. But you know, it don't last long.
Mm-hmm.
That thing there where the addict is the last person to know he relapsed. The same one who relapsed, he himself know he relapsed, but people wrong him know he relapsed. And he's still pretending that well, everything all right. Because you just get skinny, you just dry up, your face getting hard, and nobody know. You can't get small overnight just so. But you went to a marathon or something, you know. You know, like exercises get small, make you lose weight. But relapse is also make you lose weight, and that's one of the signs of secret using. When you see someone losing weight on that over a short period of time, you know something wrong.
And to those of you out there who don't understand what Sheldon said, that if you have an addict who comes out of rehab, and this is why some men fail, because they feel, well, okay, I work in, if they're fortunate to have a job and they want to collect their own salary. What happens is the wife now, or the significant other, or family is supposed to be collecting that salary and just giving you enough money to go to work and come back home.
That's the way it has to be. It's the safest way.
And this is the humility, that is the part
and
of the
this is the nice part about it too, because you know, you protecting yourself, you reducing the opportunities of unexpected or complacency, because you could have money in your pocket, you know, and you're okay with it, you know, but you never could tell when the thing was ambush you, because it does ambush you.
Yeah. And for those of you who need to understand, there was a friend of ours, and I'll tell you who it is off air, but he was part of the defense force too.
Right.
And we went took him to rehab, and everything was going good. And Then some of his colleagues wanted to help him pay off some bills, court bills, and they handed him $1,500 in cash in his hand. And by Monday, he was back on the streets.
Oh, you see?
No, and these are people who don't understand. Now you will understand that the addict not supposed to be around any money. And they're supposed to be home. They're supposed to be under a curfew for at least a year or two.
All that.
It depends.
All of that.
Right.
Slippery people, places, and
Stay away
things.
from slippery.
Curfew.
Stay away from slippery people, places, and things, because you cannot come out of rehab, and that's why I relapsed the first time. Going back on the block and sitting and liming around people who smoking, and people find you looking fat and take a drink now, boy, what happened? I go kill you. They don't understand that drink is what opens the door.
So the other day, talking to a guy, a work colleague of mine, but he work in the next department. He don't really know my history. He don't know nothing about me. He mostly might know that I as a recovering addict, but he didn't know he don't know nothing about addiction. Or for me, a drink, he said, boy, come, let's go and take a drink now lunchtime.
Right.
I said, boy, I good, boy, I good. And the man insisting, I said, brother, you hear what I tell I good. I supporting. He said, no, we doing.
Yeah, but you must tell them. And this is what we have to do too. Like if we are employed and the person don't know, you have to let your employer know. You have to let people know that you cannot drink and socialize like the ordinary person.
It didn't have that.
Because
it didn't have that.
Yeah.
And if you're my friend and you consume of me, you will know not to offer me. I ain't talking about me personally, I talk about in general.
Yes.
Any recovering addict will know that your company, you have to know who you keep in company, because it's like people who normal, but they don't want to accept that we are not normal. We can't take one and finish. When them done take one and them gone home to the wife or they gone home to the brother and sister, you like a stray dog, you go on looking for more.
Yeah. And what companies need to understand too, I always tell companies the best time to identify the alcoholic in your presence, or you see when you have functions and free liquor, look at the ones who you have to drag away from the table. When at the end of the night they're not leaving till the last bottle is empty. And they will come in like normal like everybody else.
Yeah.
But after a while you could figure them. Just sit back and watch, and you will see the problem. Alcohol. Yes. And also for employers to understand that you cannot overwork the addict either. There must be a
balance.
Yeah, that's
a balance.
A good point there too. That's correct.
Yes, I mean we might feel that we good we might feel just throw work on me now.
Yeah.
But too much work sometimes could make a person relapse. Too much, especially manual labor. But then on the other hand, okay, I remember when I just started here, they had a problem with me when I was on staff at Citadel, wanting to work too much. And what they didn't understand was I wanted to work because I didn't want too much idle time on my hand. So like when I finish a shift and Gary call and say he can't come, and Tony say, God, hold on for Gary now.
You glad?
I glad.
Yeah, because it's more time spent doing something.
That's right.
Away from that temptation or whatever,
Yes.
Constructive. But it's something constructive as opposed to, just the labor for the sake of doing the hard labor.
Yeah.
When you should in fact be engaged in something that is enriching your mind and your soul, something that you enjoy doing, something that is productive.
Yeah, but there are some people who want to take that away from you. And because they find you enjoying yourself too much. Why you want to work so much? As somebody asked me.
Exactly.
I want to work too much.
Yeah.
And I said, but I thought employers like people who like to work plenty.
You understand?
But I was told, no, you like to work too much and stop working. And they didn't realize that you're putting me in danger when you do that to me.
That has to do with the stigma of addiction as well, because people feel like, you have denigrated yourself for so long. Now this is your payback, basically. This is how you are going to redeem yourself by doing all this backbreaking work.
So, but people, this conversation, I hope you learned something from it this morning, and we will have time for a little call. But I want you to show you, for those of you just joining us, Shortman just shows Sheldon again, and I want you to look at this picture. And if you have a relative who is in this position, understand that at some point they can return from this. This actually, Sheldon, he has the Walking Dead.
That's right.
You understand?
That's right.
Because and I think people also, family members also need to understand that relapse is a symptom of the disease. If we are thinking of addiction as a disease, then relapse is a symptom of it because of the various triggers that exist for the person, for the individual. It is going to happen. It's going to happen, but you as a family and support or employer need to try to support the individual by eliminating those triggers in his or her life.
You want to say something, Sheldon?
That photograph there with me bareback, I was 48 years old. See how old I look.
Wow.
That is 40. I was 48. And this next picture, maybe with the airplane, that's 57.
What's the difference, eh?
57 with the airplane, 48 on the street. And this the one on the street looking older than that one day. You ain't seen it?
Yep.
And that is the life, because me at time I don't want to eat. I ain't sleeping, right? I do nothing but smoke. I live in to smoke and I smoking to live. That was my life for 20 years. I didn't have another motive for me being alive. I'm being real. Right? I was totally, I would say, possessed by this craving, and I thank God they delivered me from this thing, because I really, truly am delivered, and I could say that with confidence today. Right?
Thank you, Jesus.
I could say that.
Susan says, might very well be Haddad having a hand and recognizing your true potential. Work with the Haddads, John and Robert, and they are the sort of people, that sort of people, true kindness from the heart and soul. Sheldon, you're in the hands of the right people this time. And, you know, Gerald Jacob says, morning used to meet Aberdeen by peaks, never give him money, just muffin and a drink. Henry, Sparrow sang, they are the ones we call good citizens. Oh, yes. Erica Sue Hosford say, ain't that something that will give people a sense of hope? So, folks, those of you who just joining us on YouTube and Facebook, this is what, if you have a relative that looks like this.
There was another question. Someone was asking, I can't remember if it's Facebook or YouTube, whether any of your children have any of your talents.
All my children are artists.
Wow.
All?
Each one.
Wow.
I have one of my sons could use both hands. This man is trim with left hand and right hand. You ever see somebody straight
ambidextrous?
I scissors from the left hand and put it in the right. And trimming it with both hands like that.
Wow.
I just watch, and he could draw, he just paint, he just draw. My daughter real good. If you see my daughter's paintings, you know. Sorry, I didn't have one of her books to show you, you know.
And your sister Alicia, who's out in New York, says hello.
Yeah.
Go to video B quickly, short man, please. Let's show these people what they're planning still and continue to do.
However,
Listen to this.
It might be the cocaine sharks, because we are talking about tons of blow. Let's introduce you to the fascinating world of narco submarines then. A narco submarine, also known as a drug sub or narco sub, is a type of custom ocean-going, self-propelled, semi-submersible, sometimes fully submersible vessel Colombian cartels use to smuggle drugs. Drugs are transported up the Pacific to Central America and then to the United States, across the Caribbean and across the Atlantic to Europe and East Africa. These narco subs can cost up to $2 million to build. Despite the costs, some of the craft are intended for one-time use, being abandoned at sea after a successful delivery, given that their cargoes carry a street value of up to $400 million. Authorities seized 31 narco submarines in 2021, up from 23 in 2019. This interdiction rate doesn't seem to affect these guys, as this phenomenon is reaching new heights. Boat engineers and designers, including recruits from Russia, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, are being paid big bucks by drug lords to oversee mass production of the subs in factories that are little more than massive sheds hacked out of remote corners of Colombia's jungle. Raw materials are brought in by motorboat from Cali, the cocaine capital of the world. The design of the subs has been tweaked over time to improve hydrodynamics and cocaine capacity. People like Moreno Ricardo, who became known as the Rey de los Semisumergibles, or King of the Submersibles, built some of the best of these improvised submersibles. Moreno Ricardo's constructions were huge, with the capacity to carry as much as 5 tons of cocaine at a time. He was arrested, but many others continue his trade. Almost all of these so-called submarines are actually low-profile vessels designed to avoid detection by riding low in the water. The majority of them do not completely submerge. Instead, a few feet of fiberglass protrudes from the water's surface. This alone makes them extremely difficult to see. Narco subs are classified into 4 types, based on whether they have inboard or outboard motors, and whether they are shaped like narrow powerboats, or even thinner shafts, resembling sculling boats. The average narco sub is 45 feet long, made of fiberglass over a marine plywood frame, and weighs 7 tons. It can transport 1.6 tons of cocaine at a constant speed of 10 knots for thousands of miles without refueling. When fully loaded, 3/4 of the hull is submerged. The subs are painted dark grey or blue-green, making them almost invisible to spotter planes. When fully loaded with cocaine, only the small cockpit is visible above the water, making it difficult to spot from above or from other vessels. It also makes them difficult to detect on radar. An exhaust system directs the hot fumes produced by the engines into the water, where they are not detected by thermal detection equipment. They also travel slowly during the day to reduce the amount of wake they create. Life in a narco sub is no luxury cruise. During the 8 to 10 day voyages, the crew survives on canned food, crisps, bottled water, and the occasional gulp of fresh air. They either do their business on board or through the tiny cabin windows. The powerful and deafeningly loud diesel engines, along with thousands of gallons of fuel, are only a few feet away at all times, making the sub insanely hot. And not everyone survives the journey, and the drugs become shark food. Hence, the cocaine shark. Nonetheless, as enough of these vessels and their precious cargo get through to make the cartel's efforts worthwhile, the subs are becoming more sophisticated. On April 2022, a new kind of narco submarine emerged from the Arauca River. This submarine, at 6 meters long, is on the smaller end of the narco sub range, with a modest engine capacity and limited cargo space for storing drugs in comparison to standard models. However, unlike the majority of narco submarines, which are semi-submersible vessels with exhausts and ventilation pipes always above water level, it appears to be capable of completely disappearing below the waterline. Well, I'm not surprised. These guys have enough money and manpower to figure out how to build a space shuttle if necessary.
That's, folks, we just played that for you to show you that this war on drugs will continue till the end of time.
Yep.
Thank you.
Once there's a demand for it,
yes,
and even some of the countries who are tasked with looking at us and telling us how we should operate, their population love it.
Mm-hmm.
And as Mexico said to them one time, don't tell we stop producing cocaine. If your people stop asking us for cocaine, we won't send it.
Correct.
It's as simple as that. And this is how far the people are going to get this drug to us on the streets. So understand that we will never be able to fight this and win it. All we could do is what we're doing here now is prevention. And that is why we watch Sheldon this morning, so that you can understand when you take that first hit, that journey that it will take you on. Talk to your children, please. I beg of you.
Don't start.
Talk to your children. I mean, even at this age now, I'm thinking, Sheldon, you never missed the 20s, boy. Like 18, 19, 20 years. If we had a chance to go back.
Oh, you mean if I don't miss it, yeah? I just wish I could just, get another chance at being young again. And knowing it's just one ill decision.
Let's take some calls.
That will take me down a road. The rest of my life, I still struggling. Look, when I took drugs, I was 19 years old. I'm 57 years old, and I'm still wrestling with the thing.
Yeah.
So, folks, take a little idea as to the time period it takes for some to recover. Some to recover faster, But I still ain't catch myself yet.
The Lord alone knows, Sheldon. I just wish I had that. And I just speak to young men now, beg them. You see, the age between 18 to 25 is so important.
And not only that, I'll tell you what it is with it. If before you take the drugs, you have the knowledge about it at first hand,
yes.
you'll think twice. Basically, when you don't, you know much about the thing.
Yes.
Well, let me get it in a nutshell. Just ask yourself what you want as a young person. I'm talking to the young folks now. Good morning to the young people of Trinidad and Tobago. Look at, just use your observance and your awareness and look around. Be observant, look around. Ask yourself what you want for yourself. You want to be a vagrant? Obviously not. You want to be a person who is aggressive and ambitious? Don't take the first one, because you will, without a doubt, be a vagrant. You will be a vagrant. You'll become destitute. All it takes is just one taste. One taste. Just take up the first one, and you will be wearing rags. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. So the choice is yours.
622-3937. And thank you very much, Sheldon. Thank you. Good morning.
Natasha, Sheldon.
Hello, good morning.
Yes.
Morning.
Thank you for having me. This is the second time I'm hearing Sheldon's story. And I'm really just fascinated. It's very interesting, very intriguing. And Sheldon, first and foremost, let me congratulate you on your 1 year, 2 months, and 6 days.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. God bless you.
1 month, 2 months, 6 days. Garth, you might know his voice. It's a familiar voice. I, just last week, celebrated 10 years of deliverance, sorry.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Deliverance from cocaine. And listen to your story. When I listen to your story, I am moved. I'm really moved. I'm hoping God, just as Sheldon had this second opportunity, I'm looking forward to the grace of God to have a second opportunity on your program. I say by now I should know the voice.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Right. So that I too had my fair share of abuse from police. I also had my fair share of abuse in a cell, not by a prisoner, as a fellow inmate like yourself. These help us to.
You're breaking up
a little bit.
Breaking up. And
Yeah.
that's the latest thing.
Thanks a lot to you. 622-3937. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hi, morning. Please turn off your radio.
Okay, I'll get up from near it. Good morning. This is Natasha.
Yes, morning.
Good morning, Natasha. This is Carla's mommy. The last
hi, how
time
you
I
doing?
heard Sketch was asking about Gregory Martin, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I Sketch Gregory is my nephew.
Okay. Good to hear you. Good to hear you.
Johan's mom.
Yes.
Gregory Martino?
Gregory Martin is my nephew. His mother is my sister.
Okay.
Right. And this is also Johan's mother.
Yes. But Gregory lives in Sealot. I know, I can't sure exactly tell you where, but his sister wrote in this morning, June Wolf, that is his sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So she know exactly where he is. Right? But he's not doing the best. He's not on drugs, thank God. But
Thank God.
he's drinking a lot though. That's where he is.
Okay. And what about his son, Matthew?
Matthew he's somewhere in the States.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, he's somewhere in the States.
All right.
But as we have you here, you have anything you could share about Johan currently?
Well, Natasha, he finally had agreed to go into rehab. But there's so much problems. They sent him to Mount Hope to a chest X-ray. No, the health center up the road by us for a chest X-ray and a TB test. They did the chest X-ray, told him he have to come back to do. When he went back, now the doctor told him he have to go back to Mount Hope to do the TB test. I mean, if somebody tried, they drugs, and he told them that he wanted the results to go into the rehab, instead of doing the TB test there, they sent him back to Mount Hope. When he went to Mount Hope now, nobody there that day to do it. Come back the next day. He went back the next day. They are telling him now that the report that he gets from the doctor will X-ray in the health center. He have to see a doctor. When he will come back to see a doctor in November.
Jesus Christ.
You understand?
No,
I mean, you could really deplete somebody
Yeah.
when you do that stuff to them.
Yeah.
So we went Friday again. You see, the third Friday he going into Rebirth House, but everything is a stumbling block.
Yeah.
Mr. Duran say that they said his numbers is high. His number is from 5 to I forget what, but some nurse said the number is high, and he have to go back to Mount Hope to them exactly say he done walking around with TB. I said, well, if he has TB, would they tell him come back in November? Meanwhile, he walking around spreading TB?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know sometimes these people, they don't use the senses, and they make you feel like, I can't even find a word. No, he really trying to get in there, and there's one obstacle after the next.
Yes.
But it's as if they try to make it hard for you.
Again tomorrow.
Yeah. I can imagine how frustrating it is for you
And
or
you
the
see,
family
what them don't
member.
understand, when a family and a person decide, okay, I want help now,
you have to act quickly.
you have to act quickly. It's not something you could put off November.
Yeah.
We're talking about here.
November. It's the same thing with Andre. They told Andre was to come back in June to read the extra, and Andre died in May.
Jesus Lord.
The medical thing in Trinidad in a mess. That's my.
No, but don't tell nobody that you're bad talking.
But it's not the government fault. It's people who work in there.
Is it
they
people
don't give
working
a
there? That's
damn.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is it people working there? And when you talk about it, now you're bad talking them.
You're bad talking
You bad talking them, yes.
Imagine you come to take out a teeth today. They tell you, let's make an appointment. Come back next 3 months.
Next
month.
Yeah.
You at something like a teeth we want to take out now.
Yes.
Yeah, and I could imagine for a family how frustrating it is when you
Of
finally
course.
get your addict to admit they have a problem.
Listen to me now. Yesterday, Friday, when we did the Rebirth House, I felt like somebody stick me with a pin, and all the air and everything come out of my body. 'Cause I'm still dealing with Angie. It is raw. It is very raw.
Yes.
and then I'm dealing with this. And he finally agreed he want to go, and this is what we getting: an obstacle after obstacle after obstacle.
Well, we will talk about that some more next week, please go. Thank you very much, ma'am. We have to go
calling.
almost 12, right?
All
But thank
right,
you very much for
Thanks
listening.
for taking my call.
You're welcome. And
Okay.
stay strong.
Bye-bye.
Stay strong. And we will save that video for next week with that Skinner Park ground, because we have to highlight that too.
Yes, we do.
You know,
That time fly, boy.
yeah, time really flies here. We have to highlight that too, because I know, as I said, these promoters salivating to put their hands on that Hazy Crawford Stadium. And this time, let me just give you all a hint. Anybody who wants this stadium, let them pay $200,000 damage deposit first before they touch it, because it's ridiculous. We cannot keep doing this. If you see what they did to that second ground football field, and these people, they're not sports people, so they don't understand why it is a show up for practice, and when you meet a muddy field that inoperable, you cannot use, and
garbage strewn
yes,
everywhere
and
that you have to clean up.
and they make their money and go home, and it's urine and feces
But
everywhere.
really, is
and
the corporation that is
sickening.
responsible for the maintenance and upkeep of the ground. So we need to hear something from the corporation or the mayor.
We're not leaving this alone. Sheldon, we take one more for Sheldon. Sheldon, boy, we want to thank you very much once again, and the hardcore group of companies for looking out for you.
I say one thing. The last time I was in rehab was 2 months and 6 days ago. And I said, from my batch, if you had to have one person stay clean, that person not to be me, you know.
Good. Well done.
Because, you know, the stay clean rate is very, very ridiculous. You know, not much of us stays clean.
Yeah.
This addict here is going to stay clean. I promise you that.
Take one more. I'm sorry we couldn't take any more and open the lines. Hello, good morning.
So, morning to Miss Sinclair, Mr. Sinclair panel, and others.
You have 30 seconds, sir.
Sir?
Go ahead. Mr. Enoch is here for the 12 o'clock news, so go ahead.
All right.
quickly.
Good. So long I take trying to get in and
I know.
Yeah. You come in late, boy.
I know.
Well, I'm calling all the time.
You all want him to come back next week? People can bring him back next week, please, God, you know.
We'll try.
All you? Well, I only one person. I don't know about the rest of people.
Well, all right. So we'll have Sheldon again.
What are you seeing happening there? You could hold 1 minute. What are you
No,
seeing
we can't
happening
hold
there?
1 minute, sir. It's 12
It's 12 o'clock. We gotta go. Right?
Sorry.
Next week. You will talk to him next week, please, God. All right?
Yeah.
We have major news up next with Mr. Daily Knock, and we thank you all very much for staying with us this morning. Sheldon will be back with us next week, please, God. And we will go through his entire library and collection and all of that. And for you addicts out there who still suffering and families, remember, there is still hope. All right? Take care. God bless you all. Have a great week.
Good afternoon.